team is currently working on combating drug abuse and counterfeit pharmaceutical. So this is a table of contents where it starts with an introduction, the big problem, and why does this matter to the team members. So this is a little bit of a story about the life of Daniel Edu. Daniel Edu was a family man who had life ahead of him with his wife and children and a stable job. But all this came crashing down because he just took a painkiller, which in turn made him so addicted to it that everything of his life came to a halt. This is one of the stories of many that resulted from drug abuse, counterfeit drugs, and also lack of transparency in the system. But how does this is a big problem? So the big problem comes into three folds. The first aspect is drug abuse and self-medication. The second part is counterfeit drugs. The third part is lack of transparency. According to the World Health Organization, about 30% of African countries has counterfeit drugs which are circulating in the system. And this is a huge problem resulting to many pitfalls within these countries. And for lack of transparency, we realize that Ghana, especially using Ghana as a use case in this research, we realized that lack of transparency was something that was readily available when it comes to counterfeit drugs and medicine. But why does this matter? It really matters because lives be lost daily to fake medicines or misuse drugs, and realize that there has always been billions lost in Africa due to the counterfeit drugs. And again, a weak regulatory tracking system whereby most medicines are unmonitored and are untracked. So this is our solution. Our innovative solution encompasses AI-enabled blockchain application for pharmaceutical supply chain. So here we are going to take notice of very important things, the distributors, where we are going to apply blockchain ledger, and within this we are going to have on-chain and off-chain. On-chain, we are very much considerate about privacy, and so with on-chain we look at making the most necessary things public as possible, and off-chain we are very crucial in protecting private data. And again, we will be applying AI anomaly detection, but with AI anomaly detection, we would be implementing it at the latter stage of our solution implementation. Then again, we come to the consumers. We are going to have a mobile application for drug verification, AI usage guidance, and counterfeit alerts. So this is our market value. Our market value is so impressive. When you look at the first section, 14.8 million, this is a total addressable market. So this is $14.8 million is where the pharmaceutical market is worth, and with the 14.8 million, we narrowed it specifically to traceability services that is already ongoing. So when you even look at globally, not narrowing it down to traceability, it becomes $1.65 trillion. And when we look at our serviceable addressable market, in Africa and also the Middle East, Asia, we tend to see that it has a relevant market at $14.78 billion. And when you then narrow it down to just Ghana's markets, we realize that our serviceable obtainable market is 43 million. And this is, we are considering adoption rate here. So from this market value, you can realize that there is quite a lot of market when it comes to this aspect. But how does our solution work? It works in these flows. We are going to have a manufacturer, distributor, pharmacy, and consumer. But when you look at it in this scope, it's very huge. So we are starting it with less number of manufacturers, distributors, and pharmacy as well as consumers. But how will our solution be understood with the layman's um, understanding? So in the first place, we are going to have a QR code, as you can see the image here. So the consumer tends to scan the QR code, then it is being alerted whether the medicine is fake or not. So for our implementation stage, we have divided it into 4 steps. The first step is going to contain the 3 months, in a span of 3 months, where we are going to work on our prototype. And this prototype is going to contain deployment of our system and how we are going to embed the blockchain activities within this prototype. When you look at the pilot stage launch, it's in a span of 6 to 12 months, as well as the step 3, which is national scale, in the span of year 2, which where we would be needing quite a number of partnerships and how to expand in full scale. So when you look at the step 4, it's going to have original expansion. And with the regional expansion, we are first looking at how we can implement other African countries within this scope, specifically targeting West Africa in this aspect. But how is our competitive advantage? So we quite have competitive advantage because we realize that this is a huge problem in the health sector, and bringing up this solution will really bring up safer drug use and fewer doses available. We are going to also have access, help the economy, because huge sums of money is being pumped into um, these aspects, where this money will then be channeled to other aspects of the economy, thereby saving billions of investment. Then we look at the regulation aspect. We realize the lack of transparency was an issue when it comes to counterfeit drugs and drug abuse. So bringing up this system is going to help get a stronger enforcement, less black market trade, because we'll be embedding regulatory bodies within our solution. Then the next competitive advantage is the blockchain technology. We realize that of all solutions that are being tackled so far in Africa and beyond, there is no solution that embedded blockchain technology as well as AI, thereby we having first movers advantage in this solution. And the next thing is the availability of which we tend to have millions of consumers, because there's a huge market available for this system. Then we have the incentivize. We want to incentivize customers to this solution. How can we do that? incentivization, in that we are going to give customers an amount of opportunity to be part of a raffle whereby at the end of the day they'll get a prize. So our business model comes into two folds, where we have a B2B, that is a SaaS subscription, whereby we have the regulator and pharmacy paying us for the dashboard access, and also the transaction fee. We have about $0.01 fee, but we are adopting a incentivized solution here, whereby customers will have free access to scan, and also give them a huge opportunity to have an airtime raffle or other raffles in that regard, comparing to the number of scans they have done. So our call to action is basically to look at how we can improve upon this system and gradually implement it, which will help in creating a transparent tamper-proof drug abuse system, and thereby combining AI to blockchain, which will equal to saving of life. This is our team members who are working constructively in solving this solution. Thank you so much.